Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of the TV is Our Real Mom podcast. I'm your host, Dave, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, Catie. Catie, how you doing?
I'm good, Dave. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm wearing a grape shirt and
I was
drinking
gonna
grape
say, I don't think
soda.
I've ever seen that shirt before,
It's funny because
but
I've had this shirt for many years. I've had it for like 6 years, and
you
I wear
know,
it.
over in Europe, I lived in Ireland for 3 months, and it was horrible. They didn't have Mountain Dew, but they had it Fanta every goddamn where you looked. It was all about Fanta.
I wonder why that would be.
Fanta, Fanta, don't you wanna? That was the song. I don't know if they
Hmm,
play that here. Probably.
interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm drinking this grape Zevia stuff. It's like
That's gross.
it tastes just like grape soda, grape soda, and it's not soda. It's awesome.
But does it have stevia in it? Because stevia is gross to me.
Well, it is. Yes, I mean that's obviously the sweetener they use is stevia, but apparently that's better than sugar. So I'm
It's
sure that
better for you. It's not better tasting, but obviously that's true.
in this stuff it's not bad. You'll have to try this sometime.
You know, I worked at
And
a natural food store where we sold those, and I think I did try one because we sampled stuff.
well, some of them aren't as good, like the Coke and but
Okay.
like root beer and grape soda. Anyways, this podcast brought to you by Zevia.
And Fanta, apparently.
Yeah, and Fanta. Not really. Can you get in trouble for pretending you're sponsored by something?
We're
Oh,
not sponsored by them.
oh
We just
yeah.
like to drink them.
Let's just say that. Okay. Um. Yeah. So here we are to talk about Alone, season 5, episode 5. We're down. We're down another man. Another
Yep,
man down.
getting there.
So what happened, Catie? What happened in this episode?
Well, as I was watching it, I could see Jesse losing his mind.
Yeah, he was seeming a little delirious, a little delusional, actually.
The
Delusional.
amount of the obsession he developed with pine bark was quick and unsettling. Like I knew right away. I was like, this is not. It reminded me of Dave hoarding fish. I was like, this is the workings of a crazy person or someone who's just lost touch.
Yeah, I mean, I did find it pretty funny when he was like hanging up his bark, and he was like,
Yeah.
but he would refer to it as food. He's like,
Yes.
I've got
It's
so
like
much food.
it was, you could see what deep denial he was in. He was like, look at all this food I have. And I was like, bro, that's not food. That's nothing.
That's wood, and like you're surrounded by wood, and that's you can't eat that stuff. That's like being like stranded on the ocean. You're like, look at all this water I have to
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah. Like
it's
if someone had just stumbled upon him, they would have been like, oh, so you're crazy, right?
yeah.
Because that was the minute he started, like, it's like as soon as he started chewing it that first time, he like got a taste and his eyes went wild and he was like, well, this is what I live on now. But
This is
like,
my life. I eat bark now.
I harvest and eat pine bark. He'd be one of those people who made his clothes out of pine bark, and everything he owned would have been made out of pine bark. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was I mean, he's not crazy, but he, like Dave, went a little bit nutty. And how they said that hoarding food is a symptom of starvation. I think this was the same thing. Like he was starving, and this was his solution. But it's supposed to be a bridge. Like that should have given him energy to go find real food. That wasn't the solution.
Yeah, instead of like filling up his stomach just enough
With
to
wood.
have the motivation to go find some actual food, and he should have realized like it's desperation time, like I need to find some bugs or something. But yeah, he settled on wood, on
He
eating
said,
wood.
"Oh, this pine bark is food. I'll just stick with this. It's easy."
And
But
yeah, he paid the price for
he
that.
definitely
Yeah.
paid the price. I
He
felt bad
was
for him.
he was out of commission, man.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I felt really bad for him too. Like every once in a while I get those like clenching, like when your
Hmm.
bowels clench a little bit when
Hmm.
you're just having an upset, whatever, maybe you're reacting to something you ate. And
Hmm.
even that's enough to make you go like, oh my God, like, oh,
No.
I can't imagine like wood down in there,
Oh God.
like just packed in there because he hadn't pooped for like 3 weeks or something like that.
Yes. Oh my God. I thought maybe he was saying he hadn't pooped since he started eating wood. I was like, okay, that's 2 days. That's not that bad. But when he said since what was it, day 8 or something, I was like, you need to go.
Yeah,
You
they
need to
put
go
on the screen
now.
something like 3 weeks is what they put on the screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one time my friend told me when he's like, when I was a kid, I went 8 days without pooping. And I was like, holy shit, that's terrible. Like I don't think I've ever gone that long without pooping. I
That used
think,
to happen to me when I was a young adult. I would go 2 weeks or something like that.
holy cow. So you were really suffering. I
Yeah, it's
remember you,
painful.
I remember you would say like, oh yeah, I've been having problems with constipation. I was like, oh, she must not be able to go for like a few days or something. But no,
It
you
was a
were
while.
like, wow, that's crazy. I can't
You guys
imagine.
called me Catie, remember?
Yeah, the term of endearment.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy hearing it at the time. But yeah, I wasn't in a situation like this.
Catie, you
It's
froze up.
just was done. Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yep, you froze up there. Can you finish that thought?
Oh, I was just saying I've never been in that bad a shape, but I knew as soon as that guy started eating the pine bark that it was over for him. I knew
Yeah.
who we would be losing this week.
Well, we called it
Yeah.
last week. I mean, it's right spot on with everything we said last week. We're like
Yeah.
this season has been way too straightforward with like showing you
Sure.
in the preview what's going to happen and who's going home. It's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I would, I like how Survivor plays with us and always adds some red. Sometimes they phone it in, sometimes they show you something completely not even related to what's going to happen. So that's nice. But Alone is not Survivor. We can't expect it to be. It's a History Channel show. But there was we got a lot of stuff this week. Like they showed everybody with the exception of Randy. So, we saw everyone pretty much.
Oh yeah, there was no Randy, was there?
No, because he's crushing, and what else can you show? I mean, obviously we know he's going far.
Right. And once he got settled in, he's probably just sleeping in his cabin all day.
I wonder if he has a toilet. I wonder if he's pooping. I'm sure he's pooping.
I mean, if he doesn't have a toilet yet, he's going to have one soon.
Do hippies believe in toilets? They're fine with like running water and stuff, right?
Some of them.
Yeah. Okay.
But he also probably like loves feeling close one with the land by pooping into a bush or something.
He must just maybe has a latrine somewhere downwind.
Downwind.
Yeah, whatever you say.
A little ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Jesse is gone.
Yeah, that was a bummer. He made it quite a bit further than he did last time, but I felt bad still.
Yep. And for my list, I actually had him pretty low. So
yeah, I think I had him higher than he should have been.
Pat myself on the back there.
I think I'm going to get last place on this whole Alone business.
I'm feeling better after Jesse went home here as far as my picks because it's getting a little more in line with what I had going on.
Well, Sam seems to have bounced back.
Yeah, so that's definitely in line. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's promising. I expected them to show him along the same lines as Larry and Jesse, like still starving, but he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this." He was laughing and cracking jokes. He was fine.
Yeah, he seems to be on an upward trend, I would say.
Yeah, maybe the little tiny bird really was a turning point, like you said, and he said.
Yeah. And another thing, like I said, I remember I was saying like I don't think Larry's doing too well.
Yeah, I think Larry maybe needs to go.
I guess I was onto something there.
I'm worried about Larry. Larry should not be. He just passed out, like literally looked like a dead man on a log for like 5 minutes, and then he just gets up and goes back to his fish, and he's like, "Oh well, that was a bad head rush." And I was like, "Yeah, Larry, you passed out. That was bad."
Yeah. That's he's got a strong mental fortitude to be alone in the woods like that and to lose consciousness in such dramatic fashion, almost hit your head, and yet he was still able to like go talk to the camera and recount that experience like it wasn't even him that it was happening to. It's kind of
not the first
impressive.
time it's happened.
Maybe not. I mean, maybe it's something he's trained for, like he practiced starving and
trust falls Head rush falls.
Practice getting used to his head rushes, you know.
Just whenever he talks about that, I get woozy. That kind of shit makes me woozy.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
like it.
yeah, I've fainted a couple times before. It's a weird experience. Like you just like don't know what happened, you know?
Yeah,
Takes you a
that's
while to come out of it.
right. I was concerned for him, and I'm still concerned for him. He got a fish though.
Was
I
that
really
was before he passed out though, right? He was cooking it. He was in the middle of cooking it and then he
He
passed.
hadn't yet eaten it, so maybe once he ate it, he was better. But maybe he was onto something with the dandelions dehydrating him a little bit.
Being a diuretic.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so. If he's right about that, then I think yeah, he could turn it around because
Well, that seemed like that was what he was subsisting upon.
yeah, and if you're eating just that and it's a diuretic, yeah, you're probably gonna have a tough time retaining water. So
Maybe he needs some pine bark to soak it up.
mix some pine bark in with them dandelions.
Yeah, that's the solution, right? Two
Right. Yeah.
problems, two wrongs make a right.
Yeah. Constipated and peeing a lot. Yep.
Yeah, I'd
That's the way
rather
to
pee a
go.
lot. I mean, that's what I was saying to Cassie. I was like, so he's peeing a lot. Can he just drink more water to compensate for that? Because they're by a river. He's just got to boil more water.
Yeah, part of the problem with drinking a lot of water is you can get bloated pretty easily,
Well, who
which
cares if you're
is
bloated?
yeah, I mean it's the thing about being bloated from drinking water is it's mostly just uncomfortable. It's not going to do anything to you. You're just going to have stomach cramps and stuff like that. So you might as well just drink a bunch of water and keep drinking, you
Well, if
know?
it keeps you from head rushes and passing out, I would say, and besides, they're always wearing bulky stuff. I mean, you'll be fine. I'm not going to notice if you're bloated.
Right. Not to mention like to drink too much water to the point where you dilute your blood and die or whatever. You have to chug like 2 gallons of water in 5
I've
minutes.
never even heard that that was a possibility.
Yeah, it is. There's like this story about a radio game show that held a contest or like you call in and tell us how much water you're chugging. We'll see who can chug the most water. And some lady like drank 2 gallons of water in 5 minutes and she died. She freaking died because yeah, your blood gets diluted and
Just goes all over.
it's bad. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, she freaking died. So, but yeah, it's a very extreme situation where you're drinking that much water. You have to try pretty hard. So, if you're
Yeah.
just drinking water casually throughout the day, you're never gonna do that to yourself.
Right. Yeah.
It's not gonna hurt really.
We shouldn't drink anything, 2 gallons of anything in 5 minutes. You're
Right.
probably going to die no matter what it is.
Your stomach will explode.
You'll die if you drink that much milk, not even that much milk, but like a bunch of milk at once.
Yeah, but yeah, water in particular, you are capable of downing that much, and your blood will dilute.
That's gross.
I know, right?
I don't like to
I
think
seem
about
to remember our cousin Kelsey told us about that once. It was like Kaylee or Kelsey told us about that one
Okay.
time, and I thought you were there, so I thought
It
you
might
knew
have been,
about
but I
this.
don't remember stuff. So
She's like, "Do you remember or do you know you can drink too much water and die or something?" You know?
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, crazier things maybe have happened. Seems pretty crazy.
It's a
to me,
strange
though.
one.
It
Did you
is.
know you can eat 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes and
But should
win a
anyone?
contest?
I can't believe you guys watched that. That's just so gross.
It was really funny because that was like everywhere after we saw that. Like it was all over the media the next day. I kept seeing. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's like,
I actually friggin' watched that."
he broke a record, but it's like that's a disgusting record. I'm not impressed. This is not something that should exist and that people should strive for.
I just thought it was interesting. Like he is actually the record holder for like every food contest there is. Like they were listing.
He's disgusting. He's
They
a
were listing
disgusting
all the
person.
foods that he holds the records for, and it was like every food that exists. It was like eggs, burritos, pizza, like all the foods, all of them.
He's disgusting. It's gross. It's
I
all
wish I
gross.
could remember his name because he's a legend.
Chestnut or whatever.
Yeah, it's Chestnut. That's it. Yeah, I wanted to say Chester, but
He's disgusting.
okay. Anyways, back to Mongolia.
Oh yeah.
What else do we got in this episode?
Well, we talked about Larry, and
So what's going on with Sam in particular? What's he up to?
I You
He's
know,
working on a shelter, right?
he's
It looks
switching
like
to
he's
his
making a
big
pretty good one.
shelter.
Oh
He
yeah,
made a bed.
he made like a bed, and it looks really comfy.
Yeah, he finally switched over to his more permanent shelter, and got it done within the same day because you kind of have to. Because once you move the tarp, which is what Randy did earlier as well, like I think once you move the tarp, you're committed. Like you have to go to that. I mean, you can move
Right.
it
So it's
back, I
kind of
suppose, but it's a lot of work.
an intense 1 day project. You
Yeah, but it
gotta
seemed
take
like
care.
he got enough done to be able to live in there. And so we have a few people that are in their more permanent shelters. He talked about how his season 1 shelter was not very good.
Yeah, he basically just propped up a tarp like in a teepee fashion and laid under it for 50 days.
Yeah, that seems like he could have put some of his time to better use in making a good shelter.
Yes. So looks like he's doing that now, and I think he's in it for the long haul at this point.
Yeah, they didn't seem, I mean, it seems like everybody's storyline more and more has to do with starvation, but it didn't wasn't brought up with him, and so he must have recovered from whatever dry spell he was having, and he's finding some more success now. Or maybe he's eating pine bark and he's gonna go through the same thing.
I doubt that he's eating pine bark. I really don't think he is.
Okay. That's good.
Got a little bit of Brooke in this episode.
Yeah, she wasn't talking about her fireplace for once. So
She talks about how she keeps her mind occupied by doing crafts.
yeah, that's very Fowler-esque.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
so there's 2 ways you can win this game: sense of humor and
Mhm.
crafting, or both, I guess.
Yeah, both is
Fowler was funny.
ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's made a lot of crap. I was surprised how much stuff she's made, but then when you think about how much time they have, makes sense.
Right. So, is this a? I was just seeing a shot of someone walking in snowshoes, and
That's the beginning.
I think that was just the beginning. Yeah.
There's no snow yet. I have to tell you, I'm pretty concerned for Britt now. I feel like the fear has seeped into his bones and it might drive him out.
The fear of bears.
Yeah. And I
Bears.
don't blame him, but I'm just saying, I think he was doing really well and just thriving, but now this bear thing, I think, might do some damage to his game. Game? Is it a game?
I seem to remember that wasn't he scared off by animals in the first one somewhat?
I don't remember. That's what I thought, but then I think I had a different impression of him.
Yeah, I might be getting that wrong.
But you know, it's scary. I mean, maybe the reason he's having so much success is because this is an area where the bears are, and that's where they fish and everything. And maybe that's why other people aren't having success, because they know to stay away from areas with signs of bear activity. So I don't know. It's just a theory I came up with. But I mean, he can't really move. Can he move? Should he move?
I don't think so. Depends. I guess it depends on how many more signs he sees of bear activity. Like he had to walk a little ways away to find that like big scratch on the tree.
Yeah.
Definitely heard a bear, so there at least one is coming near his camp. But I think if there was evidence of like a lot of bear activity right in his area, maybe he should consider moving. But at the same time, you're not gonna live out there for the rest of your life. You're just trying to survive for like 100 days.
You might live out there for the rest of your life if you get killed by a bear.
Haunt the lands of Mongolia.
Yeah, exactly.
Brit, this land is haunted by Brit, who was eaten by a bear.
Slain by a bear.
Trying to make a television show.
Trying to win some money. So, is a brown bear the same thing as a grizzly bear?
No.
Okay. So it's less terrifying than a grizzly bear.
And I should clarify that I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure a brown bear is different than a grizzly bear. I think grizzly bears are like really big, and they're shaggy looking, and
they're demons.
And I think grizzly bears are more aggressive, or do I have that?
Yeah,
backwards?
Did you see what that grizzly bear did to Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant?
Oh yeah, yep, I saw that.
That was something else.
I'd like to watch that movie again. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie, but that bear scene is intense.
I think we should start doing movie podcasts, Catie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Movie reviews or like
Instead
old
of this
movies?
silly TV stuff.
I watch way more TV than I do movies these days.
We should change our podcast to movies are our real mom.
Movies are our stepmom.
Yeah, there we go. And
Movies are my dad.
nobody would have any clue what that meant, but
The people who watch the podcast would.
except the diehards,
Yeah.
diehard fans.
Hey, well, we can do some movies. I need an excuse to watch some more movies. This weekend I watched 2 movies, but I'd already seen both of them. But I watched them again because I liked them. So
What movies did you watch?
It and Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, 2
Both
good
very
movies.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you have a watching partner for it, or were you?
Yeah, I watched with her sister Cassie. She hadn't seen it.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'd watch that alone.
She wanted me to go to Hereditary, and I was like, no, but I'll watch it with you. So that was like a compromise.
Oh, so what is Hereditary about then?
It's a horror movie. It has some creepy child, and I don't even want to know what it's about because I've just heard that that's like really one of the most disturbing movies you'll ever see. So it's not for me.
I was just reading about Split again last night, and it made me really want to watch that movie again.
Yeah, you should.
Apparently, apparently he is going to do the sequel for it, or yeah, like the superhero movie is coming out eventually.
And McAvoy's going to be in it?
Yeah, he's going to be like the villain, and his name is like Horde or something like that.
He's also in the sequel to It.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's got a couple sequels coming out.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Very good. Yeah, we should probably get back to Alone, but
Alone. We haven't discussed. What do you think of Britt though? Do you have do you think he's done? Is this bear thing gonna screw with him enough?
Honestly, my gut and my list, says
Don't
that
be a slave to the list.
Yeah, but it says that Britt won't do much better. Like this is about, we're coming up on the spot where he's about to go out. So I think if I'm listening to my gut and looking at these signs, I agree with you. We're starting to get evidence that like he's not gonna make the long haul. I think his stock has gone down dramatically after this episode.
Yeah, it's crazy because did you see how many fish he had in that one hand? But as soon as I heard the bear, I was like, oh, this might be it for him.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trout and grayling right now lined up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're all the size of his knife.
Yeah.
So that's a good good haul.
Jesse would kill for that fish. But
yeah,
maybe if he was here at Grizzlies, he would be like, I'm out. I don't know.
But if he was eating fish, he never would have discovered the wonders of pine bark. So
food.
Food, as he calls it.
AKA food. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Poor Jesse.
Oh,
but yeah, I was saying to Cassie that 3 out of the 4 people have gone out for like medical emergencies pretty much. I mean, Carly's wasn't an emergency, but it would have become infected, So
yeah, I mean these are returning players who all did pretty well. So I think you're not going to see people quit for the reasons you saw, like some of the first people quit in season 1, for example. Like a lot of those people quit because they were scared of bears, and but they quit way too early too. Like there was nothing. I don't know. There was one in season 1, one of the first quits, where they literally saw like, I can't remember if it was wolves or bears, but they were up on a cliff, or a little cliff just above their heads, like, and they were like looking down at them like they wanted to eat them. So you can't really. I
couldn't push that button fast enough.
Yeah, you can't really blame those people for leaving when you get that close to them. So that's just unlucky on their part. But yeah, it seems like these returning players are not going to quit for any old reason. They're just going to get pulled out by failure to survive. Yeah.
Which results in medical. And Nicole's, I don't think was her fault. That was just her disease, I guess. But
right. Yeah, I mean that's a little bit of a different situation, but the same concept applies. So what's the 4th one that's not medical?
Brad. He was hungry, but
yeah,
he wasn't doubling over, passing out. He didn't have a hook in his hand. He could move his legs.
Yeah, he was probably a good thing he quit. I'm just gonna say that, but yeah,
he would have been in a medical emergency if he'd waited a few more days.
Yeah, a couple more days, he would have been dead.
Well, he could have just gone and found some food in the trees.
In the trees.
The pine bark in the trees.
Yeah, I could have gotten some tree food.
Yeah. So we still have to talk about Dave.
Oh, what did Dave do? He was like
He had a
sad
bit of
about
an
animals.
emotional moment. I have a feeling though that it's just a passing thing.
I think so
What?
too. I don't think this is any indication that he's going to quit. I think they
Yeah.
wanted us to think he might quit, so the Jesse tap out might not
Yeah.
be as obvious, or like it would at least give us some pause to be like, oh,
Mhm.
maybe Jesse's gonna make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think?
No, this was a pretty predictable episode. Like there I was sitting with Cassie and she'd already watched it. And I was like, well, they haven't shown Dave yet. And then 2 seconds later, Dave was up on the screen, like the word Dave. And then towards the end of the episode, I was like, well, they have to go back to Jesse because he's the one that's going to get pulled. And then like 5 seconds later, it said Jesse. So like I knew where this was going, but
You were just calling all the shots,
no, they have
literally.
a formula and they do it well, but it's just they have a formula. But I think whereas the Brit thing, I'm convinced this is going to be a deeper issue that could drive him out. I don't think that way about the Dave thing. I think it's going to be a fleeting thing. He just has to maybe just had an emotional moment and maybe he'll just get better. It's hard to shoot a bird in the freaking heart. They have wings, they can fly away, you can't just nail him every time. He shouldn't be so hard on himself.
Right. I agree. I mean, he makes a good point. Like, if you shoot a deer, you're only taking one life, and
Mhm.
then you're being fed for days,
Mhm.
off taking one life. But when you're killing birds, it's like take a life, eat
Mhm.
once, have to eat again soon, take another life. You're killing more and more things. And it's interesting as human beings where we draw the line on what's a sentient being with feelings.
Mhm.
Like I joked last week, fish don't have feelings, but
Mhm.
they don't have any problem eating like a billion fish,
Yeah.
but birds, that's a different story. So where do we draw the line as far as what's animal
Well,
cruelty?
if an animal has scales, it's like Satan, so and
So,
like a demon, and so we consider it evil. But if it has fluffy feathers or fur, then it's cute and cuddly, and we don't want to hurt it.
okay, I can get on board with that. So
I
it
wouldn't feel
eats.
bad about killing the fucking snake, but oh, I'm sorry, I just said the F word. Sorry, Mom. That's
We're
how I
gonna have
feel
to.
about snakes, okay? They make me
We're
drop
gonna have
F-bombs.
to. We're gonna have to parental advisory this podcast
It
now.
was one F-bomb. That means it can be PG-13.
We're gonna have to
PG-13
put
movies are
that
allowed one
sticker on the album. Put the
But
parental advisory sticker on there.
sorry, I have snakes on the brain because I work at a park and
Snakes on the brain.
one side of our park has earth lodges and we have a snake issue right now, so it's like freaking me
Oh,
out.
I got you.
But
Too many mother effing snakes on my
yeah.
mother effing brain.
Yeah. So, but that's weird. I thought snakes were going to be a big part of the season, a good food source, but we haven't seen one since like the first episode, which I'm fine with. But I thought that's how on Naked and Afraid they always eat snakes. I felt like that's what we were in for in this season of Alone, but
I
mostly
guess not.
grouse and chipmunks and
There
fish
seems to be
and
plenty
pine
of
bark.
fish.
Yeah,
They're catching fish, so yeah, I think they're gonna be fine.
yeah.
Might last a while for that reason, just because it seems like people are eating pretty well for the most part, except for Jesse.
Not everyone.
Except for Jesse and
I don't. Sam was struggling. Larry's struggling.
well, I like we said, I think since they backed off Sam's starving story, I think that means he's on the up and up, for food.
Your mic just got a little robot-y.
Oh shoot, I don't know what to do about that.
I don't know either.
Is it still like that?
Yeah.
I guess we can call it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why that happened.
Why don't you give them the spiel and we'll end the podcast.
Well, I guess we talked about everybody. My prediction for next week, I know Britt is thriving, but I kind of feel like he might be in danger because everyone left is a player, I think. So I really think Britt might talk himself out of this, and it's a shame because he's doing really well. But thumbs up. What do you think about Britt? Up or down? Thumbs up or down? Thumbs up. So you think he's going to stay in for a while?
I was just agreeing with what you were saying.
Oh, okay. So you think he might be gone next? Okay.
Yeah. So,
we might be in for an episode that no one goes home, or maybe they jump ahead a while because I really think everybody left is in good shape. But anyway, we will be back next week to discuss episode 6 of Alone. Please follow us on Twitter. I'm doing a lot of Big Brother stuff right now because Big Brother's on, and it's a really good season so far. It hasn't gone down the shitter yet, but that could happen at any moment. But I do tweet a lot about it. So yeah, give us a follow, a thumbs up, subscribe, leave some nice comments if you want, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Robot. Bye.
Robot Dave says bye.